Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Jenn Baljko, founder of Always On My Way, and this is the Fierce Awakened Woman Global Online Conference. This is a virtual gathering of the gentle and brave-hearted who are following impulses for freedom, returning to our global villages to share what we know and inventing new ways forward for ourselves and for our communities. We are celebrating our dynamic and radiant feminine grace. We're activating our courageous and grounded masculine so that we can all be fierce and fun and fantastic. Allow yourself to drop into the session with an open heart, with an open mind, feeling into your sense of awareness, trusting and tapping into your inner strength and wisdom, and getting ready to leap into your enlightened, embodied, and expressive self as we connect and learn from others who have already sparked their own joy journey. As you settle in and begin to tune into what's present right here and right now, please join me in welcoming Ellie Paskell. Hi, Ellie.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Let me tell you a little bit about Ellie, and then we're going to dive right into something really beautiful. Ellie is a somatic soul coach, creative and embodied revolutionary. She lives life guided by her felt sense as she supports people across the globe to revolutionize their lives by following the guidance in their bodies. Ellie will guide you to fly free from constraints of societal expectations and to flow from the beat of your own drum. The first 2 decades of Ellie's life saw her walk the path of an actress and activist, demonstrating for equality and change as she appeared on stage and screens in her work as an actor. At 22, however, Ellie's body started to shout for attention with a concrete fog that wouldn't go away. So in 2012, after 5 years of clinging to life as she knew it, Ellie released her acting career and entered the rabbit hole. Since that time, she has spent years away from modern culture, listening to and learning from her own body and guiding others to do the same. Oh, welcome, Ellie. That, as you
Thank you so
say,
much.
sounds so delicious. I love, I love, I love. I'm looking forward to hearing more about your journey and all this.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for that beautiful introduction, Jen. What you're creating feels so magical. I love the words that you use, gentle and returning to the village. And yeah, let's do this. Let's open this session together now.
Fantastic. Ellie has something really special. We're going to start the session right away, feeling into our bodies. And Ellie, I'm going to turn this over to you. And I'm going to give you the full screen here so we can really
Okay.
connect with you.
Okay.
And whenever you're ready.
Are we good? Good. Okay, wonderful. So, as Jen alluded to at the start of this session today, we're in a time when it's time to find new ways of doing things. And I know that globally, particularly with the pandemic, we are beginning to ask, or perhaps continuing to ask, very important questions. How do we live lives that feel more joyous, more healthy, more meaningful, more aligned with our true selves, with the needs of our children and our loved ones, and with the planet? And if your path is one where you are called to connect more deeply with your body, then a big answer to that for you is going to be embodiment. Come to your body. And this is a way that you get to have fun and have a delicious journey, even in the midst of what can seem like a lot of confusion in the times that we're living in. So we're going to do a short embodiment practice. Well, I say short, I anticipate it's going to be at least 10 minutes now. So allow yourself to find a posture that feels good, whether you want to sit or lie or mindfully move. And I'm going to support you now to open to your sacred body compass. So you may want to allow your eyes to close or let them rest with a soft gaze. Obviously not if you are driving. And allowing all of your eyes to turn inwards now, noticing the fact that you are in a body. Noticing the fact that your body is held and supported by the furniture and essentially Mother Earth in partnership with gravity there. And as you notice that you're breathing, I invite you to let yourself be held 10% more by that cradle of the earth and gravity. And let your awareness now become imbued with kindness. Here you are in this body that you have been wearing your entire life. This body is you and you are her. Now, I'm going to use her and she in this practice, but I'm aware that you might use they or him, so please understand that I am speaking to all body and gender identifications here. So here you are in this precious body, and I invite you, if it feels aligned, to say to your body that though you may have been distracted or not connected with her in your life to whatever degree, now you are very interested in becoming more befriended with your body, more reconnected to remake this sacred bond. And as you presence yourself with that acknowledgement, just to allow this kind light of your awareness to move gently through what's alive for you at the level of your feet and your legs. And the level of your pelvic bowl, hips, womb space, whether physical or energetic or hara. And then the whole of your incredible torso here. So you've got belly and back, heart and organs. And then your arms and your hands, noticing whether it would feel loving for you to even bring a little bit of a gentle massage to your shoulders right now, welcoming them exactly as they are. And your head, your face, your hair, and your throat. And as you're present here with this sacred vessel, I invite you to let your awareness take in all of what's alive for you very gently, whether this be physical or emotional, energetic. Knowing that if at any point you need to take a break from being with the body, you can just let your awareness come to the sounds around you. But for now, presencing with your inner ocean. So noticing where there is a sense of flow or expansion in your body now. It might be something very, very subtle or simple, like a pleasant softness in your hands. And noticing where there is a sense of contraction or block in your body here, very gently. So this could look like a numbness, or a fatigue, or even a pain. Just noticing with great kindness what's here. It gets to be here. And now, as you're present with your body and this incredible inner ocean, know that the flow and the expansiveness that's present in your being, whether physical or emotional, this is the places in your body where you're going to notice pleasure, a pleasant sensation, maybe a joy or comfort, or simple aliveness. This is your body's yes. This is the lighthouse that was gifted to you at birth to follow. Follow what feels good, your sacred guidance. Now, as humans, we've become collectively disconnected from this. So as you notice your body's yes, however it's present for you right now, take a breath of acknowledgement of the fact that the more you tune into this and allow yourself to follow it in your life, you will be bringing not only alignment and a delicious journey towards all the things that your mind would like to have you manifest, but also alignment with the whole of the cosmos. This puts you in sync with the whole of the natural world effortlessly. This is how we will remake our world. So I invite you to really acquaint yourself now with your body yes. So again, it might be one particular spot. You might be noticing something small but perhaps very vivid, a joyous beating in your heart space, or an orange energy in your lower body, or anything else. You might simply notice something subtle like the absence of hunger. Know that you get to follow this. And I invite you to take 3 breaths now with this experience of expansiveness of your body yes, and to really marinate in it. And to notice whether this yes has any messages for you in this moment. Why is this yes present in your body? Is there something that she's enjoying? Is there something that it's telling you you like in general and that you would like more of in your life? And if there is an awareness of a body no here present also, any kind of contraction, To let that be part of the picture also. This is sacred. There is no good or bad emotion or sensation. It's simply guidance. So noticing if there is a body no here, perhaps a pain that's been shunned or sidelined, which just needs to be allowed to take up a little bit more space so that it can unfurl and reclaim its vitality and eventual yes. Or maybe a sadness. To allow whatever is here for you to take its space. Because truly, just like any ocean, the waves of yes and the waves of no in your body are not really distinct. So one will always flow into the other. And you are simply put here with this sacred compass, this sacred guidance system to dance and play and flow and listen and follow it. And this is your gift not only to yourself but to the whole of the world. And now as we come towards closing this practice, I invite you to let your awareness effortlessly land, to hone in on one sensation in your body that your awareness is being drawn to, whether it's a yes or a no, expansion or contraction, and to allow your kind awareness to be present with it like you would be present with a good friend, not judging, not labeling, just being with them. And perhaps you simply want to be with this sensation. Perhaps it's delicious or exquisite or fascinating or okay. Or perhaps there is a particular piece of guidance coming out of this for you now. Beautiful. This is the essence of freedom, to be able to know what is true in the body, know what is genuinely guided and desired, and to give oneself the permission to follow it. That's when wings spread and life becomes a delicious dance. So I invite you to let this session now be a pocket of that for you, to stay as in contact with your body as you desire, even as Jenn and I are talking. So whether that means keeping your eyes closed or keeping hands in contact with your body or allowing yourself to move as you desire, what is your body's yes and no saying throughout our conversation? What is resonating with you? What does it feel like for you to experience something that's resonant? The world needs you in your truth, and I invite you to experience that now. So, yeah, I feel like we've just kind of seamlessly segued there back into the session. Hi, Jenn.
Hi, Ellie. Wow. Yeah, be very gentle with yourself as you come back in to this space and we start having the conversation around body feelings. And thank you for bringing that sense right back here to this, grounding us in this and feeling what is a yes, what is a no. Tell me how you came to know your yes and your no. and the journey you've taken. I would love to hear more about the rabbit hole that you flung yourself into, too.
Yeah, thank you for asking. So, for me, it was about releasing the yes that came from other people, because I'd always navigated life, in large part at least, according to what made people smile and nod at me. And I didn't know that that's what I'd been doing. And it wasn't black and white, but um, yeah, in my early 20s, I just started to get all these sensations in my body, and none of my old ways of fixing how I felt were working anymore. And I kind of gently eased my way into support practices and therapy and things like that until finally this inner voice in me was just saying there is a rainbow brick road of utter magic of everything that you're truly desiring, and it's opening for you here. So if you're willing to release your plan for your life, at least for a little while, and follow that, you're going to discover the jewels that you're wanting, which fundamentally is peace and joy and health. And that's when I began to listen to my body in a full-time way, and it became my complete priority. And I spent 2 years doing nothing but healing practices and energy healing and meditation, both in England and in Asia. And I discovered that there was ancient new parts of me that were wanting to have voice, to have space, and that a lot of what these parts were saying was, I have a stronger integrity. I have a stronger yes of knowing what is truly good for me, who I truly am, what truly brings me joy, what really lights me up, not according to what the world says, not according to anything that's written in books, not according to anything that's come before. That joy that I could remember from being 2 years old, where I didn't need a credential. I didn't need a people to nod at me and tell me I was good enough. I didn't need a good exam result or a job or a certain body shape. I knew joy was my birthright, and that was coming from so much more of an instinctual place. And we teach kids now, or we have done so much from a very well-meaning place. From a very early age, your inner compass is often wrong. You want to do that thing and it doesn't fit in with the way the world is. So, very lovingly, I'm going to guide you to disconnect from this inner compass so that you will thrive or survive in this world. And so the world remains as it has been, and the status quo remains, and parts of humans are dying or dead from an early age. So we've lost collectively our vision. We've lost our connection with the earth and with the higher knowings, and we are forced to have to take our guidance from outside sources, from what's in the books, from what's in the educational systems, according to what makes money, according to what will make people agree that we fit in. And then if that starts to crumble, as indeed it is now, as indeed it has been prophesied for millennia that it would, we are buggered. Like, what the frig do I do? But no, I'm going to remove that word buggered. We're not buggered. We're set alight. We're set free. A part of us will think we're buggered. But the truth is, it is this incredible opportunity for freedom to go, there's something here that never left. So let's reconnect and genuinely find joy and genuinely craft the career that I'm here to do and genuinely heal my body, and genuinely root back into the earth. And that's all we ever came for in the first place.
Right. Yes. And all of that, because I think we have forgotten that. We've forgotten what it means to just stand up and dance in the kitchen, or just take 5 minutes and just laugh out loud at nothing
Right,
in particular, right?
right, exactly.
It's these, how did joy bubble up for you? What did it feel like when you finally came out of this a 2-year journey that you gave yourself, which feels
Yeah.
luxurious?
Yeah, well, I guess, I think, from what I've just heard you say or what I've just realized I said, I think it's also really important to note that it doesn't have to be a 2 year rabbit hole dive. Like for me, this happened in my mid 20s. So I was able to do that before I had the mortgage and the family. If you're watching and you feel like it's one day at a time and it's one moment at a time. And just as you alluded to there, Jen, it, it can be these delicious moments of joy that bubble up, which begins just with that intention. Today, I intend to open to my inner 3-year-old. Or today, I intend to take 20 minutes at the start of the day and listen to my body and then let her have that little bit more space through the day to just notice what's pleasurable. You know, for me at the beginning, my little body was very shell shocked that I was perhaps letting go of things that my mind had held so dear, like career and stuff, like my acting career and stuff like that. And yet, as she began to release the kind of numbness, I would just suddenly remember that it can be really fun to climb a mountain, a little mountain in the park, and like stamp my feet on it. I remember doing that and being like, this is fun. Oh, I could actually like stay here for 2 minutes and just do this, and I feel more, who who knew? So it can take you by surprise. It certainly did for me at the beginning, and then it was just a case of really keeping trusting that while my head at times would start to panic and just want to go back to those old ways, want to go and do work that doesn't feel right in my body, or whatever it was, that I could take a breath and sit with myself through those panic points. And as soon as I would tune into my body and come out of my head, I would begin to remember that she would show me how to do it, even if my mind was telling me to go back to the old coping mechanisms. And often, the moments when I didn't feel close to play or joy, it would be, I need to put on a guided meditation and wrap myself in this blanket for half an hour. Or even, if I had the time, I need to do that for as long as it takes, that then my body starts to want to do things again. Then, partway through the snuggle time, my body would go, I would get the inspiration. Oh, I'll go make a pancake. Whoa, I didn't know you wanted to make a pancake. Yeah, let's make a pancake. And then I'd be so uplifted from making the pancake that I'd end up writing a chapter of my novel. From that frozen place, that incremental, what actually feels good, and then the innate creativity that comes out of that, which is also our birthright.
And I love how you put this with your mind's intention of going back to a coping mechanism that it already knows, because this is
Yeah,
what it's kind of taught itself and what kept us all safe and
yeah,
moving into some forward looking direction.
yeah,
But then the incremental, like honoring, okay, we're making pancakes, and then seeing how one small little action that gives, I guess, more of your feminine grace, like a little bit more flow and expansion, so that then you can say, yeah, now I can come back and I can write the chapter of the book, or I can come back with a little bit more focus and concentration in this other thing that needs to get done, and this play between it, right? And how you learn what's magic and what's playful, distinguishing these magic, breadcrumbs, however they start showing up. So
yeah,
how important is it that we start saying to our mind, hey, look, thank you so much. That's awesome that you want to protect me. But my body also has knowledge and wisdom
Yeah.
that wants to play in a new space. So
Yeah.
how do you dance between these two?
Yeah. Well, as I said, it really is, it's going to look different for every person, you know, and it is going to begin simply with that intention to follow the body and the intention to, you know, once a day or once a week when you notice that that old voice is coming in, is to do it differently, is just to say, to remember that you've made that priority to actually follow the beat of your own drum. To remember that when you notice that you're disconnected in a work meeting or in a conversation with your partner or any point in the day, instead of keeping talking out of integrity and maybe ending up feeling numb or with a migraine or in an argument with somebody, remembering that really nothing matters except being in contact with your own truth. And and taking that space away. So, you know, one way is to take a breath every single morning with yourself and just remember, I'm going to do things differently today. Body, hello, I acknowledge you. I'm going to let you guide me today. And when I notice that fatigue or that numbness or that anger that feels confusing because I can't remember where it came from, I'm not going to carry on like a robot. Even if it's 3 minutes in the bathroom breathing, I'm going to take that time away and get back in my body because it's deeply crucial. Like, it is crucial on every level. It is crucial if one is committed to one's own joy, to being able to be there for one's children, to be able to be committed to one's peace and the literal health of, you know, one's body. Often it is chronic illness that brings us to this kind of path. It is for me because it was for me because I couldn't have stepped off that path I was on without having to absolutely have to do it. Um, but it's crucial not just, like I say, not just for our own joy. There's nothing more important than your own joy and your health. That is what means that you can take care of others and change the world. So that's number one. Nothing else. Your oxygen mask goes on first. And if we look at things in nature, so the mycelium that enables trees to communicate in this incredible way, the knowing that supports birds to fly in perfect V's and supports animals to get away from the shoreline when the tsunami's coming, even when all of our human instruments didn't pick it up, right? This is what's available to us. We find ourselves at this point in history both deeply connected to the love in our beings and knowing that we are here to create a world that feels wonderful to be in, and scratching our heads like, how are we where we are? How is it possible that there's starvation in parts of the world and too much food in other parts? How is it possible that there's been horrific wars and are horrific wars happening on the planet, right? What we need is more of the innate magic that is available to us as part of nature. That magic which lets a seed become an oak tree. This is what's available to us. The incredible synchronization which our minds literally cannot get their brains around, right? That's because they're not supposed to. We're not saying let the mind go completely. The mind is a tool. The mind is a part of the body, but we have come to a point in history when we're so out of balance, more in the mind and the linear and the doing and the kind of forceful, distorted masculine than in the feminine and the flow and the earth and the body. That it is time to let the emphasis, at least for a little while, come a little more into the flow, into that How do I let my felt sense lead? Because the felt sense is for you, you sacred one human. It is your, it's like your silver tendril, your sacred silver tendril, which connects you, like that scene in Avatar, to everybody else and everything else in the natural world. You know those days when things just flow and the weather works out and that problem you've been trying to solve just fixes itself and you get the call, the amazing piece of news, and everything is just like coming into place, right? That's when one is in alignment with oneself and therefore in alignment with the whole of the world. And the way to do that is one breath at a time. What actually feels good right now? Who am I actually? Do I actually want to say no to that commitment that usually I would do just to please people and take time with a bubble bath and then be in alignment and then work out something that I really want to do with the next week of my life and then do it and feel so inspired that we're able to show up at the next family gathering, which is the thing that we didn't do, actually feeling present in ourselves and then able to have a completely different conversation with our sister, which then enables her to mend something with her husband. We see the domino effect, like this day now, what feels good, that's it.
It's so, I love how you say it too, that it's in this moment, and I feel it more and more, right? I didn't know this in my 20s. I didn't know what that meant in this moment, what it feels like now. Fierce for me was, yeah, coming to the fight, being the strong woman who did it all, the showing up all the time, and
Yeah.
more and more and more. And it's coming up in so many of the conversations here is it's not a retreat, but it is a remembering. It's like, yes, I'm coming in, I'm going to do what feels good to me right now so that I can put on my oxygen mask so I can go out and be this person who's in flow, who's present, who's joyful, who's not defensive and reacting all the time, where it comes from a really grounded, centered place of, I know my yes, I know my no, I know what it feels like. I have to say no now. The mess that the world is creating is the mess that the world is creating, but right here in this moment, I have something that's my magic that I can contribute.
Right.
I'm feeling this, right? Like it's such I don't know, but it's easy to stray away too. It's easy to forget, right? And say that 20 minutes that I gave myself yesterday felt so good. And it's the first thing that disappears when you look at your to-do list.
Right.
Why do we do that to ourselves?
Conditioning. Is it not what most of us have seen our parents do and our parents' do? The kind of um there is a glorification of being tired and busy and overworked, or there can be, and this word selfish is banded around as being a bad thing.
Right.
You're so selfish. And I love how Abraham Hicks says it. She says, hang on a minute, right? You tell me that I'm selfish because I don't want to do what you want me to do, but you want me to do what you want me to do, and you're not selfish? Like, the layers of ridiculousness that we are used to living in the midst of so that we do not even see them are immense.
Immense, and they're right there in front of us, right? It,
I
it's
know.
so, when you take the step back and say, craziest we've ever invented, and we're all living to this measure of it, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, and,
Yeah.
and I'm really hopeful that 2020 has given us this new tool that says, no, I really don't need to be on Zoom 100 hours a week. I can go out and just watch the birds for 15 minutes. You won't miss me. It's okay. Right? It's the withdrawal of all
Yeah.
of this connection that we,
Yeah.
and I'm saying this in a conference where I want to build connection, right? And
Yeah.
where we're bringing our gifts in new ways. But
Yeah.
take care of you first. And then,
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, it's interesting what you just said about being on Zoom or, at work 100 hours a day. And something that I've observed is, I think, it's okay to go really gently with the withdrawal of busyness, because that habit of doing and the habit of trying to achieve and, yeah, keeping busy is one that can really be um, keeping the body at bay.
yeah,
So being busy is a really potent number. There's possibly nothing like it. The busyness of life will keep a person from feeling. I mean, it's just a very simple thing of physics. The mind is only aware of one thing at a time. It can be moving around a lot, but it only sees one thing at a time. So if I am physically, or my awareness is on the Zoom screen now, or it's on the movement of my body as I'm doing the laundry or whatever it is, then it will not be in that exact moment present with my emotions, or whatever it is. And I do believe that collectively, my instinct is that, particularly since the First and the Second World Wars, so, the early and the mid part of last century, is that the disconnection from our bodies, particularly in the West, really upped itself around that time. And it was necessary because there was just so much trauma that happened in those two wars. But of course, we are talking further back than that. There's been horrific trauma, looking at the witch trials and things like that, more 100 years back. And all of this has been held in our bodies, in our ancestral lines, and epigenetically it's been passed along. So all of this has been and is in us. And that's scary, but it's okay. Like, this is just part of the human story that we came to live out. And I don't know how it was in the States, but the saying in England, keep calm and carry on, in the Second World War. Keep calm and carry on. Keep busy. Keep busy. And it is my humble belief that sometime between then and now, this this notion to keep busy and keep calm in order to keep calm, which never really worked, it just kept the anxiety at bay, that's all that was happening, became like a status thing. Like, it's good, keeping busy, I'm so busy, I've got so much to do, or and then somebody who isn't busy, well, they're not pulling their weight.
like, they're lazy. Yeah.
Like, you are lazy, whatever. And it's
Yeah.
bullshit. It's
Absolutely.
just so much bullshit. It is not helpful to be overly busy. Oh no, hang on, let me rephrase that. It's not necessarily productive or creative to be overly busy. It does not mean we are doing more for humanity. It does not mean this. And if you are a being who is, maybe you would understand yourself as a workaholic, or you just know that you do a lot, go gently as feels loving and manageable in your body, in the letting go and the bringing in of the time with the body and the stillness. This is a delicious long haul journey. It's not a sprint. So you get to just go like one little bit, one day at a time, and just a little bit of rest, as much as feels yummy or okay, and let your body recalibrate as you go along. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. It's, yeah, make it feel yummy, make it feel delicious. It's not another task on your to-do list.
Right.
And that's how I've seen people show up in meditation. I'm sure you've seen that too, like, oh, I don't know how to do this meditation thing. And they're looking around like, how everybody looks so calm. I can't sit still. I don't know how to do any of this. I'm doing it wrong. I'm just going to give it up. It's just not for me. And
Right.
I suck at it. Like, no,
Right.
there, just be here for 3 minutes by yourself. Just be here. Like, just don't worry about it. Whatever's going to be here for 3 minutes, it's not a judgment on you. You don't
Absolutely.
know how to sit still for a couple minutes.
Right.
In the US, I grew up I went to a Catholic school, and there, I will get the phrase wrong because it was so meaningless to me when I was so young that I have not learned it, but it was uh, the busy hands are the work of God or something, and the idle hands are the work of the devil, or it was something like this.
I know the one you mean. Yeah, yeah.
And it was this like, you must be busy, you must always be, moving and doing things to be worthy.
Right.
And I have found more and more that when I move a little bit slower, I take a little bit more time to be in a flow or a creative space, or I don't even notice if I'm in a flow. Like if I take that space, then I find that it's much easier to fall into the flow. And then an hour passes and you're like, wow,
Yeah.
that was great. Like, and now I can step away from it and do something else for a few more minutes and come back in
Yeah.
this other way. It is consciously and mindfully being aware that
Mm.
what you're being busy with, where you're putting your energy into, and
Right. Yeah.
how do you direct it?
Yeah. 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 And what would it look like to consciously choose to do something that feels like kindness to you, for you, for you?
Right. Kindness, playfulness. Like I keep a photo. I have a couple photos here. It's a picture of me as a 5-year-old jumping on the couch or doing something really silly. And I look at her every day and I'm like, okay, 5-year-old Jen, what do you want to do today? Like
Yeah.
what's the fun 5-minute thing that we're going to do before we start work today? And
Right. Right. Exactly.
when I don't do it, it feels like, oh, everything feels heavy.
Well, exactly. Yeah, again, of course. I mean, again, it puts me in mind of what Abraham Hicks says. It's like doing all the hoovering or the vacuuming, but you've not plugged it in. You put all that effort in all day and nothing's going right and you can't figure out. And it's like, because we have to plug in at the start of the day. I've, as often as I can, if I've got a day without anything in the schedule or something, my schedule is like later in the day, as far as I have the courage to, which is increasingly easy now, I'm like, play comes first, rest comes first, body, what do you want? Because this is what I'm here for. Yes, I'm building my business and I want a business that sustains my life because I want to live a happy, healthy life. And I'm not holding my breath anymore, being like, I'll work hard and then eventually I'll get to relax and play. No, no. I start the day with relaxation and play. And when I really allow myself to do that, I mean, the first thing to say is, I still live, I'm still working with a lot of big energetic phenomena in my body. I'm in Kundalini awakening. It brings me quite often a lot of fatigue. I mean, the healing that it brings to my body when I say to her, what you want comes first today. The work will just fall in later. Like we'll do it later. And it's so much more fun and productive to just have however many minutes or hours at the end of the day when I'm like happy from the day and then I just do what I have to do. Then I start the day with that. And then by lunchtime, my body's like, are we really just here in this life to work? But sometimes I really have to muster my courage still to do it because I don't see the world around me doing that. And my inner, pleaser is like, what would people think? Um, but I know what a lot of people would think. They'd think, that's the life I want, and will you show me how to do it?
Well, and this is it. And I it's so easy to get lost in that. You're creating a business, you're doing the work thing, you're showing up. Okay, this is what has to be done. All of it has to be done today. But yeah, it does take courage to say, this much for today. How do I how do I do it?
Yeah.
How can you accept that this is not a broken model, like you are whole and complete in every way you show up in life, and this will need your attention right now. Maybe it doesn't need your attention tomorrow, but
Yeah.
you can find, find you on this journey, find this conference on the journey. Whoever showed up here right now is here because they're saying, let's let's intersect, let's walk for a little while together and learn something new from each other. And I I know you're doing a lot of these different practices. Tell people what you're doing and how you're helping people find this sense of playfulness
Yeah.
and things
So,
you got going on these next few
yeah.
weeks and
So,
months.
I mean, the one-to-one work that I'm doing with my clients, we begin with them tuning into how they want to feel in their life. And that's the lighthouse for the whole of the program. So as they're tuning into the feeling that they want to have in their body, whether it's, healing or calm or confidence or joy, whatever it is, that's the lighthouse. And as they're creating the vision, as you create your vision at the beginning of the program, there may well be shoots that come out like, and in this life, when I feel this way and I am this incredible being, this is what I'm doing. This is the business I have. This is the way I'm relating with people. This is the new kitchen I have, whatever it is. But the lighthouse is always, how do you want to feel? So in my work with clients, it's constantly coming back to the body. And some people come and work with me purely because they want to reconnect with this precious vessel, and so our work is fiercely gentle and a gentle, focused unwinding of all those ideas that say it's dangerous to come here, or it's lazy, or I can't have space. And others come to me because there's something that they want, and they want the new route to get there. The route that is not, I'm going to plan it and then I will do it. Even if I wake up feeling like shit, I'm going to do it. And I don't care if my body's broken by the end of it, at least I'll have the thing. Like, no. What happens is your body takes the lead and then the magic happens. So you will find a way to manifest what it is you desire, and it will feel good along the way because health and the body comes first, and you'll end up feeling how you want to feel, and often exactly what you desire will fall in your lap, or you'll manifest it outwards if that was truly in the fire pit of your soul. And if it wasn't, then the thing that is truly in the fire pit of your soul is what will manifest as you're on this journey, following your body and finding and experiencing the deliciousness and the play and the rest, and the you that you are, the real you, the no bullshit you, the you with boundaries, the you with vision, the you with going out in your purple socks in the middle of the day to dance with the trees because it feels good. Like, you know,
You do
you
that,
know,
you go out with your purple socks and dance with the trees. Because I
uh,
do.
I don't have I do have purple socks. I do go and dance with the trees. I do go and dance with the trees. I'm not yet dancing with the trees when people are watching. I'm not yet ready for that. But I would love it if somebody else would, and then put it on YouTube, and then maybe I'll do that. I would like to be
I might take that dare. I might do it.
Please do. Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, that's my vision. Can I be like the child who is just so in my body that I don't even notice if people might disapprove? Like, wow, that's my vision. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and so on a practical level, so I'm running a course, but it's soon to end. So until a new course births from my cauldron, there's not a course, but I do run monthly free online webinars. So these are my Self Love Sunday webinars, and you can gain free access to these by going to the free gift
Yep.
above or below this video.
It will be right next to your bio somewhere.
Okay. um,
Yes.
yeah, and you can register without charge for that. And we do every month, we do delicious, it tends to be very yin sessions, and they are fiercely fueled by somatic practice. So I'm always bringing you back to your body. And if you would like to know, I didn't say, if you would like to know more about my one to one coaching, I have a space for one or maybe two one to one clients at the moment. So you can find that out on my website, which is also with my bio. I
Mention
think,
it here just in case. It is with your bio, but
yeah,
mention the website
yeah.
these
Fab,
people
fab, fab.
pop
So
over.
elliepaskell.com/somatic coaching. Yeah. Yeah.
I always love that you say, delicious, because that's what life really needs to be. It needs to be delicious. It needs to be yummy. Otherwise, it's just, what are we doing?
Exactly. Why are we here? Like,
Yeah,
what?
come on. But but definitely click on this link. Go find out what Ellie is doing, and just bring this sense of play into your life, and
Yeah.
come back to this practice and listen to it again, and go on her Sunday monthly yin sessions, or the monthly somatic journeys, and see where it takes you. What do you got to lose? Just give it a go. Try it
Yeah.
out.
I can't wait to have you guys join the Self Love Sundays community. And yeah, I can't wait to connect with you. Yeah.
Awesome. Anything else, Ellie? Anything else that you're
The only
feeling
thing I got
moved
to is
to?
I think that this is the movement of what are we doing here if it's not delicious? Because I think this is like, I just realized after I did it, I think this is the exhausted right hand. Like, this is the exhausted, overproductive one who's like, why are we? Yeah, so let it be
Well,
delicious.
and I did the same thing, and I'm like, oh, God, it does feel so tiring. And
Right.
then I immediately thought, like, it's the dog coming over and saying, "Come on, let's go for a walk." Putting the paw on your knee and saying,
Yeah.
uh, "Do you have like 15 minutes for a walk? Like, what's the? Come on, let's go."
Yeah. Do you have a dog?
No, I don't have a dog. I used to have dogs, but now where I am, I don't have a dog. But one day, maybe. But yeah,
Yeah.
you have
One
a dog.
day. No, I have a cat.
Oh,
Usually she would be in here reminding me how to have deep rest, but sometimes she yells. She now has started yelling. She was used to be a very mute cat, and now she's a very vocal cat. I think she's feeling the vibes of the world. So I have to keep her away when I'm doing sessions like this now because she might yell.
well, and maybe that's what we all need. At one point is just getting out of this mess, and let me
Yeah.
put on some great song from when I was a teenager, and
Yeah, listen to the
listen to air
animals.
guitar, listen to the animals.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. Yeah, follow your instinct. Yeah, I love that if it's air guitar. You can tell that I'm not really an air guitar.
Now, well, you just gotta fling your hair around. That's what I figured out.
Right, okay, yeah, that looked really perfect when you did it. May you fling your hair however feels best to you.
Thank you, Ellie.
Thank you so much. This has been so fun.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.